We now look at the tower group data in PTF. The probabilistic trend family modeling framework allows us to distinguish between development period trends, accident period trends, and calendar period trends. Further, it also enables us to measure the volatility around those trends. Forecast scenarios include both parameter uncertainty and process volatility. Let's now look at the tower group data in the probabilistic trend family modeling framework. Just a reminder, the reserves held in 2011, this data comes from Best Schedule P as of 2011, was 922 million approximately, and the company had a survival ratio of 1.33, which is actually quite low for this company. Let's open it. We're going to look at the data using earned premium as exposure. We're going to open a model that's previously been designed for this company, dataset called Good. And the first thing you note is that the calendar year trends since 2006 is growing at about 11% a year. Now, because we've adjusted by earned premium as exposure, the growth rate in earned premium, which is around about 16% a year, has already been taken into account in the model. So what we're looking at here is the 11% trend is on top of that earned premium growth and corresponds to quite high social inflation in the losses. So the losses are growing 11% faster than the earned premium. Let's just continue with our trend and completing the square of the forecast. And what you'll see is we get a total mean reserve. So the black numbers are the means of our distributions. Blue numbers are the observed losses of what's actually been paid. And the red numbers and burgundy numbers are standard deviations. All right, but our total mean reserve of 1.85 billion is already double what the company is actually holding. So the company was holding 922 million. And we can see the increases in the payments. So if I just switch it to actual only to make it a bit easier, we can see that the losses are increasing substantially down each development period. And that corresponds both to the growth in the earned premium, which we mentioned, as well as that 11% trend. And you'll also see that the losses are similarly increasing as we project down later development years. Okay, but this now doesn't correspond to any losses that might be happening after development year 9. Let's just load a forecast, which we've already just designed, called data trend 11%. Okay. And that continues out to 25 development periods. Let's run that. The total forecast is now just over 2 billion. Right. Let's now open Let's now open the model in a new window so we can make some comparisons side by side. So what we'll do is load Good again. And this time we'll run a forecast called reserves held. And what we do for that is get that forecast table. We'll now minimize it side by side. And I'll just change this back to showing the normal table so we get the whole fitted distributions. And what we can see on the right here, again, it's going out to 25 periods, but we've now got a total mean reserve of 921.2 million. And on the right, we've got our 2 billion. But let's just look at the initial projections. Oops. And what you can see is that for the losses to reach the 922 million, which is on the left-hand side, these payments in each the later development periods pretty much stay at level or go down. This doesn't really make sense though, given that we know that the earned premium has been increasing. And on the right-hand side, you can see that when we continue with that 11% trend, these losses go up and are substantially higher. So the projection of that 11% trend is much more reasonable given what we've seen in both the paid losses as well as what we're measuring in that calendar year trend. Let's look at what trends we actually needed to get that 922 million. So we're going to go to the second one. In fact, I might select both of them. Again, we'll minimize other types. Forecast settings. Look at the IOTAs. So on the left-hand side, in order to reach the reserves held, we had to assume that that trend that was 11% suddenly reverted to minus 17% for the remainder of the runoff. This is quite an unreasonable scenario. Let's now look at the loss ratios. So what you'll see is the a priori loss ratios. These are what the company's actually posted. And you can see in our reserves held scenario, we're actually matching those loss ratios pretty well, not only in total, but also by each accident year in order to get that 922 million. Whereas on the right-hand side, where we're actually using that 11% trend that's growing faster than the earned premium, you can see that the loss ratios are actually getting significantly worse, especially in the last 3 accident years. So that results in Tower Group being under-reserved by about $1 billion, at least $1 billion, as of 2011. And as we know, Tower Group itself went under in 2013 when this was actually realized. That concludes this case study. We'll see you in the next one.